Hello everybody, my name is Anthony Jones of Robotpencil, and this episode was brought to you by sleep. The more you do, the better you feel. I feel like in our industry we don't rest enough. We are told that we should draw and paint a lot. In fact, this is not just true for our industry, this is very true for many other industries and many other professions out there. And I don't think this is normal. I don't think that this is something that we should actually aspire towards because of the long-term effects that it has on our mentality and our physical state. So let me elaborate. I'm not necessarily saying that you shouldn't work hard, and I'm going to do a whole video about what that means. But what I'm trying to say is that you should take a break. You should be okay with rest. Don't get this restlessness that because you're not painting at this moment, at this time, that you're not actually making any real gains or progress. The reality is, as long as you're consistently drawing and you're consistently working, you're going to do really well. You're going to progress. You're going to get really good eventually. See, this is a game of patience, not a game of true grit. Can you withstand the worst and most craziest pain and making the sacrifices of losing your friends and family time just for the sake of being a little bit better than if you just took a break? Because when you take a break and you let your brain kind of just settle down, that's actually going to help you in the long run. Because when you're not taking a break, your brain is constantly trying to sort itself out. And it's not going to be sure which information is useful and which information isn't while it's doing its dumpster fire of removing data that was collected during that day. But if you sit there and let's say you focus on something as simple as forms and you spend 2-3 hours of just clear focus, you put your phone away, you disconnect the internet, you gather all your reference beforehand and you have it ready, and you just study. You go and practice what you need to practice. You look at it, you see what you've made the mistakes in, you see what you could do to improve, and you try. And at the end of the 2 to 3 hours, you don't necessarily say, okay, well, let me see if I learned a lot and now I'm like a master form painter. You just say, I got my set in for today, and now I'm going to proceed to take a break, or I'm going to rest. And I actually recommend somewhere between 3 to 4 hours is a good amount of time to really learn something in one day. People would think that you need to put 8 hours, 9 hours, or 10 hours. That's not necessary. You can get pretty good if you just spend about 4 hours a day. So I said 2 to 3 hours of straight focus. What does this mean? It just means that after 2 hours, let's say, you just want to take a break. You're just kind of like, okay, let me just digest what I just did. Maybe you go online, you enjoy the very things you enjoy. Maybe you paint something that you like to paint. Something that you feel very comfortable painting. Something that you do and draw a lot. So it's not work, it's just play, but it's still practice. But you got that 2 hours in earlier. And that 2 hours, if you just let it reflect, let your brain just kind of just let it sit, at the end of the day, maybe you spend another 2 hours, and there you go, you got your 4 hours. Maybe you spend 2.5, maybe 3 hours. So you only need to do like 1 more hour at the end of the day. And you're going to be able to take breaks. You can be able to go out, hang out with friends, talk to family, enjoy things that are actually meaningful and going to bring you value. Because if your brain is in this constant state of stress and your brain is thinking that you're just essentially constantly in danger, it's going to bring you more anxiety, it's going to bring you more depression, and you're going to get a disease that I like to call ambition. Having too much ambition could actually destroy you. You won't have enough energy and resources to really maximize your time. That's just not possible. We're humans. You need to take a break. We were designed to be lazy. It's actually built into us to take loads of breaks and relax. We're not a species in which we're supposed to constantly be grinding. But if you spend 4 hours a day, anybody and most people can do this. Training, focused, and don't even be mad or worried about what you're specifically studying. If you didn't learn a lot that day, it's not about that. It's about that constant, that consistent rate of work. Instead of looking at how much progress you've made in a day, look at how much progress you made in 2 months. There you're going to see some real progress. Don't look at how much improvement you even made in 2 months as a great measurement. Look at how much you've done in a year. Be patient. Think about it in the long term. And then eventually you're going to see, oh my gosh, I've improved. I can prove it to you right now. Do you believe that the artwork you're doing today is better than the artwork that you did 2 or 3 years ago? Most of you are going to say, yeah, of course. So how come you already know that this is true, but yet you get so frustrated and so angry and so caught up that you're not as good at the moment that you want to be? It's going to happen eventually. I have not met one artist in my whole career working in this industry that just woke up and was just amazing at what they do. Yeah, you know what, AJ, I just woke up one day and now I'm like the greatest artist in the world. That doesn't happen. I mean, even the late Kobe Bryant, he was known for working really, really hard and grinding and spending all this time doing what he could to be the best athlete ever. But he came to realize, I'm getting too old. Like, I can't be doing this forever. And honestly, I'm missing time from what really matters to me the most right now, which is my family. In fact, the whole reason why he even was in a helicopter was to save time, to be closer to his family. This is why he did that. He made more time for the things that are important to him. He wanted to now relax and let the grind and let the hard work go on to other people, but he's wiser. He probably would start to teach people about meditation, about sleep. He himself admitted that he didn't sleep enough. He didn't meditate or think about like emptying his mind so that when he played the game, he could focus. He was all about like working, thinking that just pure work would get him where he needed to be. And he said he played the best when he rested and meditated. So when you take someone like him and many other star athletes and many other star professions, you find that there's a common ground where they've tried, and many of them, including myself, will try the grind approach, and it works at some point, but eventually we get burned out. All of us do. And the ones that aren't, they're lying to you. Most of us are burnt out. Most of us just want to kind of chill. And some of us do. Some of us completely chill and take breaks, and the rest of us are trying to find something else to be passionate about and find some real other challenges. Like I said, it's a disease. It's like an addiction, ambition. And I think when you guys are trying to become great professionals, there's no hurry. You're not going to move any faster if you grind yourself to the point of exhaustion. Art fatigue is real, and I want you guys to stop and think about how you're working rather than how much you're working. Okay? Because if you're spending 2 to 3 hours a day super focused versus 10 hours of just mindless grinding, then you need to make some changes, right? The 2 to 3 hours in the morning, 2 to 3 hours at night is a really good approach to get really good. And this works for most people. Some people have full-time jobs. Some people are full-time students. And some people just don't know what to do with their time. But having those 2 to 3 hours of where you say, okay, I just need to stay focused. Work, you know? And I think in the future, people are going to start to come to realize that this standard that we have in our modern society of like grind, hustle has been all wrong. And we need to kind of redefine what it is to be successful and what it means to be happy and what it means to be progressing in a healthy and moderate way that's not constantly at odds with everything around us, right? We need to kind of change the culture. And I think people like myself have started to prove this because I don't work nearly as much as I used to. I'm way smarter. Even with working out, I've changed my whole paradigm about training and eating. I don't train as hard as I used to. I used to kind of train like a bodybuilder, but I realized I'm not a bodybuilder though. Why am I going hard every single rep to the point where I can't breathe and I'm like veins are coming out of my neck, you know? What am I doing? Like, I am a father. I want to live a long time so I can see my kids, and putting myself to the point where I'm almost getting nosebleeds is not necessary. Eating just because I can, because I'm trying to bulk up. What am I bulking up for? I need to be at a healthy weight. I need to be eating foods that are clearly good for my brain and for my body, because it's going to help me in my profession. If I'm thinking clearly and I am able to stay focused, be awake, alert. So if I'm sleeping, eating right, and exercising, then when I go to draw, my mind is just like completely opened and lubricated to be free to think and design and draw and paint the way that I want to, with no real restrictions. There's no blockage. There's no resistance for my ability to draw well. But if I have clogged arteries, I'm like completely tired, I am exhausted all the time, then that's going to affect my art game too. And so I'm really here to tell you guys, you should start to pull back from the art fatigue, really stay focused, and good luck. And don't worry, I'll put together a whole video about nutrition and health, because I think a lot of people actually do want to know more about this. In fact, every time I post online on my Instagram, people are like, what the heck? How did you make that? What's that you're eating? And I think it actually does have a lot of value. I think there is value to basically having your body, which is your tool to draw, which including your mind, like all the tools that you have available to you, to have them, well functioned and healthy, because you're just going to be a better artist. Otherwise, you're just going to basically fight it every time you try to draw, versus just letting it be more easy and ebb and flow. So that's a whole different video. I'm going to sign out now. Peace out, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Please subscribe to watch more in the future. If you liked the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you like this content, you can go to my website, robotpencil.net, where you can find mentorships, tutorials, and a Patreon to get more exclusive content. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in my next videos.